Hey, I'm Jamey from Stonemaier Games, and today I'm going to talk about the combined expansion for Tokaido. Here it is, Crossroads and Matsuri, all in one box, essentially for the same price as each of these were originally individually. This is our version of the combined expansion for Tokaido. So Tokaido, modern classic game that Stonemaier Games now has acquired, where you are moving along a path to generally do set collection along that path and try to score the most victory points. Crossroads and Matsuri add a few different things. Today I'm going to talk about what they add and what Stonemaier Games has done with this particular expansion. So Crossroads makes the game, kind of levels up the complexity of the game, because instead of only having one option at each stop along the path, instead you have a variety of options tracked on this mat. So you have this mat now that you put on the board or near the board that has a bunch of different cards, and each of these cards has something else that you can do at each location. So if you don't want to gain coins from the location where you normally gain coins, you can choose one of the treasure cards instead. And none of these cards are shuffled, interestingly. Instead, you can just go through the pile and look at the card that you want and choose that card. That is kind of the theme across Crossroads. The only randomized element is there is a gambling option over here where you can roll some dice to determine how many coins that you get. So a bunch of different new options, giving you a lot of flexibility in the game. So it makes every spot on the path a little bit more interesting, because you can choose the default choice that comes with the core game, or you can choose the slightly more complex, slightly more involved choice that comes with Crossroads. In Matsuri, it's basically an expansion that adds events to the game. So at every inn, there is going to be an event that happens. There's a player who will choose a specific event. There's a deck of events that happens here, and that player will choose something that happens either right away or until players reach the next inn. It mixes up the game a little bit. It makes the inns feel a little bit more like something special has happened there. Also along the way, there are a bunch of new travelers in the game, new traveler tiles. And in the style of what we did, well, actually, I get to what Stonemaier Games did with this expansion in a second. But of note is that we included 3 of the expansion or the promo characters that were typically only available separately as promos. Every one that we had the rights to, we included. There was one, Felicia Day, that we didn't have the rights to, so we didn't add that character. But there were 3 other characters: Eric, Naide, the artist, and Antoine Bauza has a character in here as well. So they're all just included in the box standard. You don't have to buy them separately as promos. The things that Stonemaier Games, and here are all the cards that I was talking about earlier. All the cards are right here. The things that Stonemaier Games did differently. One is the main thing, that we combine them into one box. They're all in one box, and you just put them in the core game and probably play with it from then on. If you're introducing Tokaido to a brand new player, someone who's maybe not very experienced with modern tabletop games, you might not use the Crossroads elements or the Matsuri festivals that are happening along the way. So all in one box, we gave each player, as we do in the Tokaido game, we gave each player a player reference. You no longer have to remember what each of these spots do. There are, just like in the core game, there's a reference tile. We replaced that reference tile in the expansion because each of the actions has another choice here. And actually, I misspoke a little bit earlier. The action where you gain coins is now the action where you either gain coins or you gamble for coins. That is that action. The treasures, the legendary objects, come from the souvenir shops. I misspoke a little bit about that. So that's one of the things. One of the other things that we also did in the Tokaido core game is that we explain in text what the icons on the front of your character mean. So if you know what the icons mean, you don't have to look at the back. But instead of referencing a rulebook, you can just look at the back of the tile. And we realized after we moved this out of the rulebook became much more streamlined. This is not a complex expansion. And so the entire rulebook for the expansion is just one page front and back. A little out of focus there, but yeah, just one page front and back. Everything is right there for you to know how to play this expansion, both aspects of the expansion, all in one place. So yeah, that's what we changed about this. The gameplay, the beautiful art from Naide remain the same. And the expansion I found is just a delightful addition to the game, especially for those who already know how to play Tokaido. So I look forward to hearing your thoughts about the combined Tokaido expansion, Crossroads, and Matsuri. Let me know if you have a favorite mechanism. If you've already played either of these expansions, let me know if you have a favorite element of these expansions. Or after you play it, feel free to come back and comment. Thanks.